stops us in our tracks. Bravely we prove in our striving, trudging together each day. Where there's a will, there's a way.
Good afternoon. You get me fully awake. I went to a meeting first. I have a couple of friends who started a noon meeting, and so I try and excuse me. I wasn't able to make it yesterday. I try and hit it on the weekends. It's much better on the weekends. I like it on the weekends. So happy Sunday. It is a beautiful day. It is nice and sunny and shiny here in Colorado. So I switched cameras. I switched back to my old camera. It's a little grainier, which you will probably not notice. Here's my old one. Well, best camera in the business. It kept going out of focus. So, but a really good camera. It is a good camera. It's just that I put a lot of things in, and I need something that autofocuses a little bit better, I guess, because of my setup. So, we got people here, and I certainly don't want them to run off. So, let's kind of go ahead and get started. I usually wait till the 3-minute mark, but I'm not going to do that today. Welcome to the Daily Trudge. My name is Dion. Did you hear Sasa? Ooh, that was a good one. She was so nervous, poor thing. She did great. I was very, very proud of her. If you're here, please say hello, whether you're watching the live or the rewatch. She's going to be an influencer, a real influencer. Now, when I say influencer, I don't mean TikTok, Facebook. I mean real life. In real life. She is going to be a difference maker. She is. You know how I know? Because I'm going to make sure of it. Yeah. See, there's some people out there that are predators, and they make the grass look awfully green, and they're really good. So when I see young people that are doing things the right way, and I know that they would be, I know that if they got a taste of telling their story, that they would want to do other things. See, now she's done it, and it's not so scary. It's over with now. So, all right, let's get started with the topic. Hey, Daryl, good to see you. Okay, let's start from the time I can remember, and this was because of this is how I like to describe it. I wasn't until I was a teenager. Then I was a problem child, but I was a child with a lot of problems. I had a lazy eye. I still do. It's this one. You'll see it every now and again. I'll go whoop and be like, Dion look crazy. Cray. And I go and it straightens back up. It's kind of funny. Doesn't happen as much anymore. So I had to wear a patch. That was a pirate. I got made fun of for that. The way that I worked on it is I did a lot of reading. They didn't tell me to do that. It just made sense that because eyes are muscles. So if I did more reading, it would strengthen my eyesight, and it worked. I had a speech impediment. I would say my S's through my nose. So like my brother's not. And that is how I would talk. See, how does it make me sound? How does it make me sound? Like I have a speech impediment. But in the 70s, it was a different era. My primary care physician said, well, your son's retarded, so you're going to need to put him in the lower class. So they put me in the dummy class. I was already bored. I'm not, I'm going to tell you something. I'm not stupid. In fact, I found out later in life what was going on. I was bored. I was bored out of my mind, right? So now I'm being told that I'm retarded too. Along with this, it turns out I had a speech impediment. And um, actually, my speech therapist is the only, I don't remember any of my teachers in Utah, but I do remember my speech therapist. Yeah, she was nice. My cats have the zoomies. She was nice. Got through that. I grew up with the name Dion Bates. My last name has not always been Miller. Right? I grew up with the last name Bates because that was the man who was raising me. That was his last name, and my parents were going to wait to tell me that he wasn't my real father. I figured that out when I was about 9. My mom let me know when I was 11. We were driving to the liquor store and she was drunk, and she said, Dion, you know that Wendell is not your real father. And I said, yeah, Mom, I know that. That was it. Yeah, I knew that. I mean, I'm the only person in the family with brown hair and brown eyes. Even my older brother Scott. Yeah. Yeah, there you go. See? It was just a speech impediment. We were talking through you were talking through your nose or something. Yeah. It's just a matter of where you put your tongue. I'm going to tell you something though. That speech impediment actually taught me how to speak. And now I'm an extremely good speaker. I know I am because people tell me so. That is not an ego thing. So what are we getting here to? Okay. So even my brothers would call me Peon Dion, and that hurt because I was a bedwetter. What'd you pee on, Dion masturbates? In junior high, I got shoved in a locker once. Those are very, very uncomfortable. I was a very small kid. Got put in a trash can, rolled down the stairs. People always picked on me. I was the easy target. I didn't get picked for things. I didn't have any friends. I walked home after school by myself. I did everything pretty much alone. That was my life until I started drinking. Right? You know, even my teachers would call me names and put me down. And well, if you just applied yourself, well, I'm bored. Is there a test I could take where I could just be out of this? I would ask that. You know. So then I would skip class because I felt I had better things to do, and then they would suspend me. Oh, the 80s were so backwards. You do something wrong and they give you what you want. I don't want to go to school, so here's 3 days off. In home detention or in school detention wasn't there yet. My parents both worked. Guess what Dion got to do for 3 days? Whatever the fuck he wanted to. I got what I wanted. Got what I wanted. Yeah. Yeah. There are times now I still don't feel like I fit in. And I think that's my brain trying to separate me from my people because I found out that I'm wrong on that. And that's what I'm getting to also. You know. So when I started drinking, my mindset changed. Okay. I lived in a lot of fear before then. I was a skinny kid and my words didn't seem to help because I was pretty smart. I'd come back with the best of them, but it just didn't seem to have the same effect. Like if I made a joke about you, nobody else would laugh, even if it was funny, only because of the fact that I'm Dion. And even to this day, people do treat me differently. They'll call me crazy or they'll call me a guru. They give me no in betweens. And it's not very fair. It's not fair to do to me. Let's stay away from calling other people crazy. let's stay away from that. Well, they're toxic. Are they? I mean, that's your opinion. That's your opinion. So even when I was drinking, I still felt like I was on the outside. But I got this thing called liquid courage. And if you fucked with me, I would pick up a bat and I would come after you. I'd steal your mail. I'd go turn off your power while you were gone. I'd wait until the middle of the night because I was usually up drinking, running the neighborhood. And when your sprinklers came on, I would kick the tops so that you'd have to replace them. I got my revenge. This was dangerous. And I didn't get caught. Yeah, feeling an only child. So I was not an only child. I grew up with 3 brothers and a sister. And I was treated totally different. And that's where my isolation attitude comes from. But see, it doesn't matter. The isolation is going to happen. We're alcoholic. If you listen to Sasa's story yesterday, okay, and that's not blowing anonymity. She did the podcast. Okay. And I know it's okay. I'm not talking about somebody from a meeting. She didn't grow up with alcoholic parents. She grew up in a very mentally healthy situation, but yet it didn't matter. The day would come when alcohol would take over. But since the seed was planted, what we have is a beautiful young lady with her life back with a story of gold. If that is not a miracle, these are the things that I get. I got to experience it because I did the interview. Okay. And she did a fantastic job. I'm very proud of that young lady. It is very hard to come on the podcast and tell your story. It's even harder to stand in front of a pulpit and tell your story. I'm going to tell you something. If you're comfortable, you're fucked. And so I make myself uncomfortable on purpose. Anyway, let's get back to the topic. Okay. So I was not trying to drink like other people. I knew this was impossible because I've known I was an alcoholic since I was very young, before my career really even started. So I drank on the fuckets. Okay. But I got tired of being treated different all the time. So the reason I tried to fit in is so you wouldn't fuck with me. Okay. My parents sat me down one day after my mom had gotten sober. They said, Dion, what is going on? And I told them the truth. I said, I am so angry with the both of you. Okay. This was before their separation. And the first thing I told them was, you two don't belong together. You're making this house miserable. And then, Mom, you got sober and you just want to come take over what I did without even saying thank you? Yeah, I am so angry with you two. Rage is what I would call it. In fact, I hate you both. And a week later, they put me away. Okay. I was out of control. They needed to put me away, or I would have destroyed that fucking house. I would have. I'm just telling you, I would have. Okay. But in my eyes, what I saw was, I told you how I felt, and then you discarded me. It would be a very, 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 very long time before I spoke the truth about my feelings again. A very long time. I would lie. I know, if If the word 72-hour hold comes up, I start punching. I do. I've been put on 72-hour holds against my fucking will. Do you know what my greatest fear is? Being put away, taking away my freedom, locking me up in a cell for something I have not done just because I am different. It drives me crazy. I get it. Alcoholics in their cups are dangerous people. We do need to be separated. And I knew this too. I know that an alcoholic in their cups becomes dangerous and they sometimes need to be removed from society. But jail's not the answer. No, I think something more like a halfway house where this person can take the 30, 60, 90, 6 months, 1 year, 2 years that they need to get their shit back together so that they can be a working member of society again. So they don't have to worry about 72-hour holds. I even still worry about that. I have PTSD. So I work hard. Okay. So I didn't try and drink like normal people. This is the way I saw it. Fuck you. Fuck you all. I was tortured for 14 years by all of you. Nobody ever treated me nice. Nobody ever treated me with respect. In fact, I was just put off, put away, odd, crazy, weirdo, all sorts of things. Happens to this day, too. By people in recovery, by groups of people in recovery. Most of them don't even know me. And then they'll run around and say principles before personalities. I'll show you a principle before a personality. Just come to an AA meeting. Funny, I don't see these people at AA meetings. Of course, I don't go to all the AA meetings, so who knows? Who knows? So what was I really trying to do? I was just trying to fit in. I wanted to be, when I was drinking, I wanted to be an enigma. I didn't want you to see me. What I wanted you to do is leave me the fuck alone. That's what I wanted. Let me have my alcohol and leave me the fuck alone. And there's days, even now, when I'm like, I just want everybody to leave me the fuck alone. There's, yesterday I was meeting out. I was so tired of talking about AA. Anything AA. Hey, Amber. Amber and I got a lot of stuff done in our group conscious yesterday. Way to come up. So I came up with an idea and then Amber turned around and improved it. And it worked perfect for the group. It worked perfect for the group. See, when a group of people grow together, we understand each other's intentions. Things like that will happen because Amber knew what I was trying to say. She put it a different way, and then it made sense. See how this works. It takes more than one person. It always does. Okay. So what's going on when I feel like I don't belong now, not in the past. I know the reasons then, but now what is it? I think it has to do with my own self-esteem. That's what I kind of think. I have been working very hard on lightening the fuck up lately, and it's starting to work. It's starting to catch on. And I'm doing that because I'm like, I don't laugh enough and I want to laugh more. I don't want to take things so fucking seriously anymore. Not everything needs to be serious. Well, it's important. Yeah, it's important. Sure. But that doesn't mean I need to bring my anger or my frustration into it either. I still don't know what it means to be a good friend. I'm still working on that. And I'm working hard on it too. So I ask questions like, did I piss you off with that one? And what I'm finding out is, yeah, it's absolutely Rule 62, Michelle. Absolutely it is. So when I feel like I don't belong, I have found now that I am a recovered alcoholic and can be honest with myself, I find that it's me doing it, that I am making a decision based on something, and that is placing me in a position to be hurt. I'm going to use Jelly Roll because I've griped on that man a little bit, okay? And I like his music, by the way. Even though he's a country singer, he's got that rock and roll-y in there too. And I can emotionally, I can attach to what he's singing about, and I enjoy that. Okay. And my daughter sent me something about it, which I thought was just cool about this guy talking about him. And I wrote her back because I put some things out that Jelly Roll's got a great sense of humor, man. He really does. Okay. So maybe what was the other part? What was the other part? We all know what it is. I'm gonna call myself out on it. Not big deal. Jealousy. That's it. I mean, I can't. You're all there going, yep, it's what it is. So we're gonna call it what it is. I figured this out a few weeks ago. Right? It was jealousy. He's doing what I want to do. And then God said, Dion, I got covered and you don't do fentanyl, dumbass. Oh, yeah. Hold on, Dion. I'm sorry. I did not mean to call you that. Okay. I just called myself a name. I don't know if you caught that. Even in a situational, calling yourself a name is no good. I'm trying to catch that too. There is so much to catch. Right? So, yes, I find when I feel like I don't belong, maybe I'm not conforming to what the group is going for. Right? Yeah, absolutely, Amber. Fear is not getting what I want or losing something I feel I deserve. Yeah. Change. Change is absolutely it. Change is uncomfortable, man. It's tough. So when we change intentionally, see, change can go slow, right? But in AA, what we've decided to do is change intentionally. So we're no longer using pain as the touchstone for change. We're waking up in the morning and say, oh, I'm not in pain, but I'm going to change anyway. That's why the program works faster for those people. When you try and get this by osmosis, it will go so low. Hey, so it really is up to you. It is up to you. Um, I like what Amber's sponsor said to her. How soon do you want to get well? Great question. Did you see that? That's why I switched cameras. See how it went out a little bit and it corrected itself. I changed cameras because it kept getting foggy. So I'm going to go ahead and donate this one to the meeting, to the 164 meeting. So we got a full-time camera now. We're making progress. This is a good one. Hi, Gerald, and welcome. Pain for me is the touchstone of my spiritual growth. Without pain, I don't need to seek fear. I don't need change. That's a great way to put it, Gerald. You know, and what I like about here, your experience may be different. Okay, I can only go on my experience, and if your experience is different, that is awesome. So please say something. Thank you, Gerald. my experience is not the only one. It might be different for someone else. Okay. And that's okay. That's when we say multiple pathways, man. We can look at things differently. But if it helps, what's going to happen is we're all going to end up at the same place with different skills, which means that, you know, Gerald and I could get together and we'd be able to cover either way on what this person's decision is going to be. Okay. Now, when it comes to these things, you are not wrong. You're not wrong. Did I say hi, Patricia? Hi, Patricia. If I haven't said hi to you, it wasn't on purpose. I tell you that. Please don't puke there. His brother's trying to help him. He also says this isn't a program for people who isn't a program for people who want it. Not a program for people that need it, but a program for people that do it. And I like that because it means action. Because wanting something or needing something, it won't work. Okay. What was I going to say? Oh, it requires no action. Wanting something, I can want something and need something and not do anything about it. And that's what Amber's sponsor is trying to say. Okay. Want and need don't mean shit without action. Gerald says, I 100% agree. It's amazing how we can all have our own journeys to get here and what it looks like. I've really been watching you lately, and I do want to say God's working through you to touch me because I am a selfish. Well, thank you, Gerald. I appreciate that. And I want to say thank you for having the courage to say, well, this was my experience. Because I've noticed a lot of times with these things, people, well, it's my experience. Well, that doesn't make it. It's your fact. Okay. Not somebody else's. Okay. Just like acceptance and awareness pretty much mean the same thing, but somebody may like to go for awareness before they go for acceptance just because they feel that way. And that's okay. Okay. So the AA program, everything is like the higher power. It is a higher power of your own choosing. Okay. It's the first choice that you get to make in AA. So, and Gerald, I want to say, I'm a selfish person too. That's why I come on here and tell on myself. Well, that's partly why I do it. And the other reason I do it is because I know there's people out there like me. I know it doesn't seem like it, but I'm naturally shy. I have to force myself to, well, I'm used to doing this part. But when I do the podcast, I get fucking nervous. You bet I do. I'm still a human being. It is hard to explain. I can put it this way. When I do this, when I speak at an AA meeting, when I do any of it, I feel God speaking through me. I feel different inside. I feel like I'm lit up, if that makes sense. And then when I'm done, it ends. It kind of sucks because I want to keep going, but too much excitement, right? So my drinking career, it isn't that I wanted to drink like other people because I already knew that I didn't drink like other people, but I wanted to be treated like other people. But it seems like unless you meet a certain requirement, you can't have that. And that's where AA is different. Do I trust a newcomer? Not a chance. Do I respect a newcomer? 100%. And I tell them too. I respect anybody that comes in and says, my name is so and so, I'm an alcoholic and I need your help. I respect anybody that does that because I know how much fear there is in doing something like that. Because in the outside world, I say something like that, oh boy, am I going to get it. Yeah, you are. You big, or they're going to say, oh, it's a phase. You're not an alcoholic. You don't live on Skid Row. You don't do this. You don't do that. Well, maybe I'm not. Yeah, you still have your family and stuff. You're not. No, keep going. These are what we call the yets. Okay, and 90% of the people in the program did not lose their wife, did not lose their children, did not lose. They didn't lose everything. And why did that happen? It happened because of tradition 3. Well, step 1 actually, where we raised the bottom. Okay, there is no rock bottom. Doesn't exist. There's one trap door after another. That's it. Okay, your bottom is your bottom. Nobody else gets to decide it. I don't care if you woke up this morning, stubbed your toe, and ate sand, and that's the reason why. Good. It's a good enough reason for me. It's a good enough reason. Okay. So when I don't feel like I belong, what I need to do, now we got 4 or 5 people here. Funksy 40. Funksy 40. Welcome. Yeah. I'm not Mr. Popular here, Funksky. What I have is I have a very small following of people who are very, very serious about the AA program. But it's great to have you here. Yeah, we have 3 people on Facebook also. So good to have you. Good to have you, brother, sister, whatever your pronouns are. I try and include everybody here. This place is kind of a non-evasive place where we can talk about things. I tend to bring up harder topics because those are the things that we need to talk about. Now, I have been live for 30 minutes here, so I'm kind of done, but I am going to reiterate some things just because we had another person show up, and I don't want them to be like, oh, I showed up and he said hi and then ended it. So, essentially, what I was trying to get to is we alcoholics, it seems like no matter how we grow up, we feel lonely. I think it just comes with the disease. Now I cannot say that for 100%, but I do know out of the 95 podcasts that I've done, they all say the same thing when it comes to that. Didn't matter if they grew up with trauma, didn't matter if they grew up with great parents, that loneliness will ensue. Usually about 10, 11. 10, 11 is usually when it seems to happen. And when we don't feel like we belong, we're going to do one of 2 things. We're either going to become noisy, loud fellows, which nobody really wants, or we're going to isolate. One of those 2 things. Really depends on whether you're an extrovert or an introvert. And but that loneliness is going to hit. Okay, and it comes with our disease. I'm going to tell you. Okay, I'm going to get into it, but it's Sunday, so I feel okay. Nice, man, and that's good because whether you're an alcoholic or not, alcohol is bad for you. It just is. They said that a glass of wine every day was good for your heart, but they were wrong. Alcohol is a poison. They call it spirits. Okay. And I apologize if I don't know how to explain this any other way. So if it feels a little Christian-y, I apologize. I'm not going for that. I just don't have better words. Okay. I also believe in paranormal stuff. And if you listen to Steph, if you listen to her podcast, we kind of covered it. I'm just going to call them demons. Alcohol is a demon. It is a spirit, and it is attached to you, and it wants you alone. It wants you isolated. Why? Because it can do the most destruction from that point. There's a true enemy here. And it comes in the form of a liquid for us. Okay? It's not by accident. And you can think of it any way you want. Like I said, I'm just using words because I don't have better ones. But I hope you can understand the example that I'm giving you, because there is a fight for your fucking soul, man. There's a spiritual war going on for your soul, and you get to decide who is winning. And this isn't about heaven or hell for me. This is about whether we're making the world a better place or not. Am I doing everything in my community to make it a better place? Right? It's like I'm on the Adams County Coalition. Okay? And they talk and stuff, and they're like, "What are you doing this weekend? What are you doing this weekend, dear?" I'm like, I don't have the weekend off like you. I'm an alcoholic. I will probably be doing 12-step calls, and then you get to go home to your home and go on vacation and things like that. I'm going to be on the front lines per as usual, because that's where I do my work. Okay. And I've been trying to kind of get people to understand that, at least here in Colorado, we've got to go back to these detoxes and say, hey, you got to quit fucking around with our people. Start using this money for the right stuff. Start hiring the right people. But I'm going to tell you something. People, I don't know who did it, but some people got very, very fucking lazy in AA and decided to let it go. Oh, they can just have it because, we don't have any controversy in AA. You're right. We do not have any controversy in AA. But as a person, I do. It isn't any different from voting. When I vote based off what you are going to do about recovery. That's what I'm basing stuff off. I give a fuck less what you're doing. I swear, I'd run for mayor if I didn't swear so much. I'd be a fun mayor. I would be. All right. We'd have plain old whoopee parties. So, all right. That's what I got for today. Yeah. There you go. Thank you, Amber. Thank you, Amber, for yeah, I'm not big on either one, either, Funksy, and I'm going to keep it at that, because otherwise we'll get into it here. We don't do that. I started that, though, so I apologize. I started that. So you didn't do anything wrong, Funksy. That was on me. I had to remember I didn't get sober just to sit in AA, though. Yeah, absolutely. You have to have a life outside. What does that mean? Go spend time with your family. Take care of them. It's your job now. Absolutely. My family is part of my recovery. Yeah, God wants you to go. And what she's saying is go out and live life. Because when you do that, you're an example to the people in the community also. Hey, what are you doing? Oh, that's a cool coin. Where'd you get that? Right? That's why I want to wear this. Amber, I want to wear this on a necklace so that people see it. But would it just be too blingy? Is that stupid? So people go, that's cool. What is it? And I can start a conversation on who I am and where I got it and what I do. You know what? Fuck it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. Who gives a fuck what people think of me? All right. And to be a part of society. Because, you know, like I'm on the Adams County Coalition. Sweet. There we go. Thank you. You know, I'm the only person that is a peer that's on it. So even in that situation, that's what I was trying to get to. I am different. But I'm a good different because I don't have to follow their silly, stupid rules. I can say whatever I want, whenever I want. Now, I don't abuse that or they wouldn't let me in. Got to do it right. Like, right? Because I told them I ain't playing your game, but I will help. And I got to give some fucking kudos to Adams County Behavioral Health. They've been doing so good. They became a new county this year, and they have done more. I've seen them do more than most of the other counties put together right now. And they are actually listening to us, and they are being transparent. So when I say, hey, what about this? Dion, I can't tell you yet. They're not putting me off. You know, it pisses me off that they won't tell me, but I'm glad that, but at least I know I'm working with somebody reputable who's being honest with me. I'd much rather have that because then I know where I stand. I know where I could put my effort. So, all right. I love you all. Thank you for being here. Jimmy, good to see you, brother. I love you all. Peace out. And